Okay, so I just came from church, and this whole discussion is going to be about relationship problems. Um, I'm just sitting up here making like a brunch, I guess, because it's really late. It's like 1 o'clock, and some things that were on my mind. But you know how people tell you, like, oh, relationships are 50-50. Some memes on Instagram and Facebook that's saying, like, no, relationships are 100-100. I'm like, okay, 100-100. It was kind of confusing for me at first because I'm like, how is it 100-100? But looking into my own relationship, I kind of understand because I think he cut off his sports. Yes, you being nosy. You know what? He is being nosy because he heard me talking. I don't know what it is, but he got his game on, and then he always be playing his games on his phone, and he be making all this noise. As soon as I walked into the house, that is what he was doing. Now he's all up in my business trying to figure out what I'm saying on the channel. I'm not gonna show him because he's half dressed and he didn't go to church with me. He rolls in his eyes. We're good. Well, I mean, we're good. Here you go.
You showing me on your dang on stuff, boy.
Anyway, I'm talking about 50-50, 100-100. But anyway, you know, I just don't feel like I am where I need to be. And I feel sometimes ashamed and guilty for going to church because of where I am in my life right now. As I stated in my introduction, Tommy and I are not, we're in a relationship. We've been in a long-term relationship for several years, but at the moment we're not engaged. We don't have any children, but because we've been in a long-distance relationship for so long, we're living together. And I feel ashamed from that. You know, I feel a lot of shame and guilt from that. Oh, that kept me from going to church more and serving in ministry and everything else, because I know I got to be right in order to serve others. But I felt like, you know, God was telling me, and you know, I can only speak from my own experience, and I apologize if I'm offending anybody, but I grew up as a Christian, and that's what I know. So forgive me for that, but I'm just speaking from my own experience. But I've been feeling guilty and shame, and you know, being in certain church environments, it kind of allows you to feel that guilt and shame because they want you to be a certain way, act a certain way, externally portray yourself to be a certain way as a Christian. I felt like God has spoke to my heart and said that, no, you know what? I want you as you are, the way that you are right now. I want you to give 100% of yourself where you are right now. And it's a lot of things that I'm recovering from as well. You know, I had a handful of traumas going on in my life. Currently, I'm taking like prescriptions to help me out with depression and anxiety and panic attacks because of the trauma that I experienced. But I'm also understanding that I can't grow as a person if I'm not trying to build myself up spiritually. Once I start to surrender some things in my life, surrender my mind, surrender my past and my problems, then everything else will fall into place. Right now, it's like I feel really like I'm controlling things, and it's causing a lot of, you know, problems in my relationship with God, and also in my relationship with him, Tommy, and then also you know, my other relationships, whether it's co-workers, friends, family. And they always say, make sure that you take care of yourself first before you start to try to tend to other people, and, you know, make sure that you are right. But people hurt people. Life can be hard. I would love for Tommy to had breakfast or brunch fixed for us, because I know he can cook breakfast and brunch, but I don't know, it's been ages since you fixed breakfast. Dang, it's probably back in 2011 or 2012 when he last fixed breakfast for me. That's a long time. Yes, it was. See, I told you he was I knew he was eavesdropping on what I was saying. No, that is the story, Tommy. It's like you'll fix eggs and
I made breakfast in 2016. Don't tell that. That's a lie. I made breakfast in 2016 because you was in the bed. Thank you. Don't tell me.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That only at one time. Okay, so I'm speaking about, if you want to go ahead and speak on the blog, you need to put a shirt on or something.
I ain't put no shirt on like TV. So I won't be
That's what I'm talking about with the 100-100 thing. You see how he want to put his input in? Me and Tommy was talking about 100-100 like a couple of weeks ago. And I put it to the perspective of teams or sports, because Tommy, he was like a captain of a few teams like softball and flag football when he was in the military, and won a couple of championships. He won some championships in Iraq, Germany. Well, he was in the championship in Germany, Fort Gordon, and Fort Lewis, Washington, and a few other places, I believe. Oh, Cuba, too. He served in Cuba. But anyway, I was like, you know what? I actually witnessed him fussing out one of his team members because they wasn't giving 100% of their effort. And I'm like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense, because, you know, I feel like, you know, our couples counselor, we went to couples therapy, and she was saying, well, sometimes things are 60-40, sometimes things are 30-70, and I think that drew out the wrong type of perception for us, because I felt like I was taking most of the load. And I'm like, you know, I know that he can give a better effort than what he's doing right now. And well, anyway, I explained it to him in sports terms, like, you know, teammates are capable of. You know what each player is capable of. You know, you don't expect J.R. Smith to do what LeBron James does. You just expect J.R. Smith or Tristan Thompson to do 100% of what Tristan Thompson, okay, he's good at rebounding. Or sometimes he's good at defense, but most of the time he's good at rebounding. But LeBron James, you know, he's like overall, like, he's like the overall MVP type of athlete. But long story short, I said that I expect for you to give 100% of who you are, where you're at. And, you know, just give your best effort where you are. And I think that what he felt, or what Tommy felt, was, you know, maybe we're just not where we desire to be financially. Maybe he knows that I deserve the best. It's like, instead of giving this 100% effort of where he is now, what he's able, I guess. And, you know, the one thing that I desire is family. And when we first started talking to each other several years ago, I dated for the reasons of being married or having children. Well, you see where we are right now. We were engaged 2011, but that might be another vlog. But yes, currently we're not engaged and we don't have any children together, even though he has 4. So I will be marrying into a blended family. But I just want 100% effort. That's what I desire. And God spoke to me today and told me the same thing, because I haven't been praying as much. I've been shying away from him because of the things I've experienced. I'm a sexual assault survivor. I always wanted to save myself from marriage, and my virginity was taken away because of sexual assault. And since then, I've been like in a confused rut. Even though I have served in ministry after the fact, but you know, when things happen, like for example, me and Tommy shacking up, you know, I feel unworthy to go to church, or unworthy to ask certain things of God, and just to pray to him and stuff. But God spoke to me today and said that I want you to give 100% of where you are. And the sermon was about that too. Pastor Vernon at the Word Church was talking about Saul, how he became Paul. And when he was Saul, before he got his name changed, he used to burn Christians alive and just to light up the night, and you know, just a lot of different things, and how God used certain people in the Word, or in the Bible, that wasn't perfect at all. You know, the woman with issue with blood, the woman that had 5 husbands, the woman at the well, I mean, David, he was, you know, had many wives, and murdered somebody else's, committed adultery and murdered somebody else's husband. I mean, it's just a lot of people in the Word that has, or in the Bible, that has flaws, but God was still able to use now. And I guess I couldn't really fathom that and get through my mind and my heart. Like, you know what, Lord, I served you one way all my life, because when I was a teenager, you know, I was like, you know, try to dedicate myself to God, go to church 2-3 times a week and all this other stuff. And it's like, you know, when I fall short of the expectation of what I'm supposed to be doing and what I am supposed to be as a Christian, I feel like, oh, I can't go to church with the way that I am right now. I'm cuss-mouthed, I'm losing my patience, I'm angry and everything, but I just realized that a lot of my cuss mouth and anger came from the trauma that I experienced from my assault, and I am experiencing PTSD issues. And with that PTSD, for any survivor of trauma, natural disasters, or combat, what I've heard from a lot of my peers in the military is that you feel intense anger. Tommy has, you know, he served in Iraq, and he said that how he would feel angry, like a deep rage, just hearing people laugh. And I remember other peers just talking about the same thing, like you just have a certain strong, deep reaction to triggers. Either it's like a fight or flight, or you just have this intense rage feeling. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to share. You know, when it comes to relationships, what I've learned is it's not necessarily 50-50. And looking at the memes and all other stuff that's on social media, Facebook and Instagram and stuff, relationships are 100%. 100% of who you are, where you are at, and giving your 100% effort. So that's just my thoughts for today. I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful week, and I will see you all later. Peace. Okay, this is some of the things I'm making. A little bit of sausage and grits, scrambled eggs with ham and cheese. I don't know why I'm using this spatula. I can use like a spoon. Get off that phone. And I'm also got some those in the oven too. Because I would check back when a lot of the stuff is completed. Okay, breakfast is just about done. So we have ham and cheese, eggs with honey, crescent rolls, and some maple sausage. And this is what we do in this household. We take the grits, right? Okay, I'm gonna see if I can multitask a little bit. So we take the grits and we pour poured over our, see how, oh, my camera is failing me. But we poured over our eggs. You know, Tommy is from Louisiana, so it's like, you know, everything is kind of all in one entree. Everything is all in one meal. So it kind of reminds you that, you know, if you think about gumbo, etouffee, and a lot of Louisiana style cuisines, everything is kind of all together. So he taught me this, and this is so delicious, y'all. Like, for real, for real. So I just put some pepper on top of that, you know, like that. And my mama taught me that parsley helps with digestion, so I put that on top of there. And if you want some extra salt, you know, you can put some extra salt. Yeah, I just got Himalayan Trader Joe's Himalayan pink salt, because it's good for you. It's supposedly good for you. I know this thing is like close on me. But just take a little bit of that. Ooh, sorry for the bad camera angles. I'll probably get better at it. But I just wanted to share a little dot with you all. And we're about to eat. Get this on camera too. I'm just stomach and knots. We talking about business and everything else. I just asked Tommy if he can clean off the table, and he like fussing like, well, this enough. I'm like, we have a lot of clutter on the table because we live in a small apartment and I'm a clutter bug. But he was fussing because he did something that he did not want to do. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate it, honey. I appreciate you.
Whatever.
Okay. Okay.
Crap.
No, that's not on. Go ahead.
Yes, I gotta come home to this. I always want to argue.
He been gone for.
I've been gone for
3 weeks.
3 weeks, and I get back home,
another,
and she's still arguing. Clean the table, which is not a problem. I cleaned it off. I guess it wasn't to her satisfaction, so she made me clean it again, which is not a problem. Then I'm trying to help her with stuff to help her, and then she's arguing. Here, look,
I am
look,
not
look.
arguing.
See, look at her.
Like I said
Look at it,
in this
just look at
video, 100. I just want 100% effort, and he only giving me 50. Well, less than that.
I gave her what she asked. She just said, clean the table. That's what I did, and I wiped it off. It just wasn't to her liking. That's all. But
this 100
But
stuff.
it is clean, so there's nothing she can say now to be all upset and mad or
I'm
whatever
putting
situation may
maple
be.
syrup on your plate.
So until then, we're about to eat breakfast. As you can see, she made a delicious breakfast
Oh.
right here. I don't know if you guys can see it or not.
Yeah, well, I had showed them a little bit about.
So yeah, she made biscuits, sausage, grits, and eggs. So we will talk to you guys later.